Good evening, everyone. My name is Sharon Price. I'm an author, spiritual translator, and a grief and wellness specialist. And this is Friday Night Live. We do this Friday evenings, or I do this Friday evenings at 7 p.m. to bring you an inspirational message, a motivational message, and to kind of follow up with my daily posts and my weekly posts that I do. So tonight's message is about taking charge, taking back your life, and not being in the back seat. Meaning, you're never too old and it's never too late. You're not supposed to be the substitute teacher, the backup singer, the stunt art actor. You're supposed to be up front and center. You're not supposed to be a shadow to anyone. You're not supposed to be following in someone's footsteps. And the only thing that keeps us from doing that normally is fear. And fear is the opposite of love. So that's why I wanted to use this background. I used it for one of my other videos and decided to use it tonight because once you accept and love yourself unconditionally, that true, authentic person can come out. No one can love the true you unless they know the true you. And we have very few people sometimes in our life that we allow into our world that really know us on a personal level. But the only way you can do that is to know yourself and to trust that we all have our own path and our own purpose. And sometimes it takes, years and years to find that purpose. And other times people, they get a glimpse of it when they're younger. And then things happen and life happens and the experiences start coming and the lessons. They're not mistakes. You go down, a road and you realize that this isn't the path you want to take, and then you veer off and go in a new direction. And it's never too late. Once you acquire that wisdom, and again, some people acquire a lot younger or wake up to who you really are, you'll start going in the direction that feels good, that doesn't feel like there's any resistance. It feels peaceful to you inside. It's when you're being your true, authentic self. That's when people can love you for who you are and embrace and see the many gifts and talents you have. We all have different talents. So when someone thinks that there's one purpose, there's not one purpose for your life. You serve many, many different purposes because there's many relationships. You may be a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a parent, a child to someone. Obviously, you're a child to someone if you're born. But are those people still here? Are those the people that knew you the longest? The people that knew every aspect of who you were? But sometimes those people don't even know who we are, because we learn very early in life to start putting on um, the mask or seeking approval or the praises from people, so that we do what we think they need us to do in order to please them. And believe me, when you start loving and pleasing yourself in the long run, it's going to pay off for you because all the relationships you build and all the people that you reveal your true self to, even the people that knew you for years and say, who are you? I don't know you. It's because I didn't allow you in and let you see all those aspects and all those parts of me. And when you can do that, it's a very vulnerable place. But just like this circle is encompassed, love is encompassed by this circle here in this picture, that's what we do when we finally embrace ourselves. We have a great circle of people around us. We have great boundaries. That circle is a boundary where we don't let anybody um, take away our self-respect. No one can do that. You're giving away your power when you allow yourself to just pretend to like something or be something or do something in order to go along with the program. Sometimes people do it for money. Sometimes they think, well, if I don't do this, I can't survive. So I'm going to have to put on this facade or this show, whether that's in a position that you absolutely can't stand, or you're in a relationship that doesn't fulfill the purpose and fulfill the need that you have, to collaborate and to have an exchange that's meaningful to you. And you know, even years ago, people used to do arranged marriages. I guess in some cultures they still do, where someone else thinks that they can choose for you or choose better for you than you would for yourself. And that's what people do for steering you in a direction for a career. And you know, I made a good living doing this. You know, I'm an engineer, or I'm, you know, a truck driver, or you know, I'm a mechanic, and or I'm a nurse, or you know, I'm a doctor, or I'm a lawyer, or whatever it is. And I think that you should follow the same steps that I've followed. And I work, you know, heavy construction, or I work as a landscaper, and you know, I've made a good living for our family doing this. So this is what you should do. No, it does not work that way. Everyone comes here with, you know, their own set of skills and talents. You may be in a family and you may pick up you might, for some reason, have that same talent for music, or be able to play an instrument, in the same way. But you not only have to have the talent, but you have to have the desire to use that talent. And again, there's many different avenues we can take. You're not trapped in one place. I've had different seasons of my life. It seems like it's always on a 20-year season that I shift gears and start, doing something a little different, but it always goes back to that same thing. That one thing is like the core thing that I do, no matter what, um, position I am in, whether I own my own business, I'm, you know, contracted, I work for someone else. I'm always still using that same, you know, talent or skill or gift. And start to recognize that about yourself. Start to see the things that just keep coming back through your thoughts, through your minds, through your relationships. No matter what job you're at, you're still counseling someone. So, my gosh, you always wanted to be a counselor, but someone told you, you know, that you'd be better cutting hair because, you know, that's what they did. I owned a barber shop, or I owned a beauty shop, and that's what we did. And that's what we have, a family business or a family restaurant. And maybe you don't want to be a chef and cook. Maybe you're a great baker. Maybe it's something totally different, but maybe it lines up somehow with some of the things you've been doing, because that's what really happens when we take these, I'm not going to call them detours, but we take these other, paths. They are stepping stones that lead us back to that core thing that we've always wanted to do. But again, many talents, many gifts, many things that you can do. There's not one thing that we're gifted or good at. There are many things. Sometimes we just don't allow, some of those things to shine, or we don't want to outshine someone. You don't have to always be the backup quarterback. You don't always have to be, you know, the one that stands behind someone and just praises them and applauds them and there for their wins, and they're not there for yours. So that you're always supportive of that person, whether that's a friendship or a love relationship or a family relationship, and they're always gloating or talking about what they're doing, but they never give you a chance to, you know, be who you are, to you know, tell everybody about what you're doing, or praise you for what you're doing, or even acknowledge. It doesn't even have to be praising you, because you should praise and appreciate yourself and be proud of yourself, but respecting you enough to let you share that and share that spotlight. And when you're in great relationships, you're able to share the spotlight, even if you're doing the same thing, even if there's two, you know, of two doctors living in the same household, or two people running a business together, that each of you shine in your own way, because everybody has their own individual talents. Everyone is unique. So it's time to step out, to reach out. And if you think that you can't go any further, or you can't reach that goal, you've been looking at it for a long time, reach further. That means take another step and another step. Maybe you have to take smaller steps. Maybe it's going to take just a little bit longer than you thought. But remember, the turtle wins the race. It's not how long it takes to get there. It's just the fact that you don't give up and you keep trying. Believe me, I've thought about giving up so many times. And whenever I do, I pray about it, I meditate about it, and say, am I on the right path? Am I doing the right thing? Am I where I'm supposed to be? And then I will have an encounter or an event or something that night, and something will happen that will answer that question. And it shows me that, yes, I am doing the right thing. Doesn't matter how many people show up for something you do, as long as you show up every day for life. You at least put one foot on the floor. You take, the first breath of the day because you're always breathing. And, you can look at in the mirror every day and be proud of what you do. Sometimes, you know, less is more. So it means that you don't burn out trying to get there. So many people have an all or nothing approach where if they can't do it all at one time and they can't have it instantly, everybody wants you do remember, you probably don't remember. Oh my gosh, if you're young, something called instant coffee. Oh my gosh. It was just like your tea kettle. You'd put the water on. You don't even have that anymore. You have, your instant hots. But people would not want to wait for coffee to brew. So they would take, a tablespoon or a teaspoon, whatever it was, of these coffee grounds and put them in, the cup, and they dissolved. Um, Again, I'm definitely showing my age when I talk about that, but that's the way coffee was made instantly when people were impatient back then and they didn't want to wait. And that's what happens. We become impatient, but patience is the virtue. Patience is part of love, loving yourself to be patient enough, loving yourself to love yourself through any lesson you're going through or any past, what we call mistakes, I call lessons or situations or challenges. And those challenges and those situations a lot of times cause emotional grief, and there's got to be healing around it. So it takes healing in order for you to move forward. It takes forgiveness in order to move forward. It's freeing. It releases you. All of the things I talked about tonight in tonight's segment were all part of my daily videos. Please like, share, support, and comment on my channel. That is the way it grows. It grew more this week than it's grown in the last month. I'm so appreciative of everyone that comes on and they listen. There are some people that have followed me through my career, at least my wellness and grief career for the past 20 years. This is my 20-year anniversary, 2024. In September marks 20 years that I opened up my first health and wellness center here in Maryland. And I was so proud of that, center and what I did and the people that came in and the healing that took place there and the tools that they got. The only thing you need are the tools, and the willingness and the desire. And sometimes we need a little help. So that is what I've been doing for 20 years, is giving people help through a program called the Spirit Program. It's a mind, body, spirit program. My 10 books became a national course book called Your Toolbox for Life. And people use that book and they watch a weekly video. They then get a coaching session. And then they, use those tools in their daily life. And it changes every aspect of their life and every relationship you touch, every part of any part of your life, from the past to the present to the future. But we have to be able to set ourselves free from the past. And one of the most critical and important books in that course book is called The Art of Forgiveness and Self-Healing. It used to be a single. I've thought about bringing it back out. I think it's time to, because it was very impactful for people. I use that for my grief healing program. I'm thinking about just making it a video and course book program. But when I've thought about doing it before, people really needed the coaching aspect. All three aspects are important, and there's three ways to learn. That way you have someone in person helping you. Then you have the book lesson and you have the video lesson, regardless of how you learn. And we can go through real life scenarios. So take a look at our winner. We have two winners, a winner of $1,000 package. And most of those services were provided by myself and some other sponsors here in Maryland, which she is still on that journey. And then we had a runner up, and they're in the class that I do on Wednesday evenings. And the three of us, the two of them and myself, do a segment every Wednesday evening. It airs on Sunday evening at 7. And it gives you an insight and showcase. They were gracious enough to sign a waiver to let me release this so that you could see how the program could impact your life just in one little small glimpse. But it does much more than what you could ever imagine. And it's a different experience for every person. So please check it out. Please subscribe to the channel. I'm on Facebook, I'm on Instagram, and I'm on the YouTube channel. Right now, you'll find the videos, most of them only on YouTube. I post some of them on Facebook. There's so many a day that I don't post them all, but they're in different groups too, across the United States. But my mission is to go global. I'm hoping that in the future, my books will be in different languages as well, but they're not at this time. I've been asked that for many years. I have 20 books and I have some on my site that help you through your healing and your grief. It's called the Survivor Series, and they're free. There's no charge, and there's a toolbox in there that you can use to help release yourself from any grief that you may be holding on to, because it's time to start your new story, regardless of what age you're at, where you're at in your life, where you live, what you do for a living. It does not matter. Never too old, never too late. So have a fabulous weekend, and I hope you join me again soon. And if you have any questions, you can always go to the website at www.getintothespirit.org, and you will find all the information I spoke about and more. And hopefully there'll be something there that will help you, even if, our paths never cross again. Have a great day, and thank you again.